In the crystalline depths of the Pacific Ocean, where ancient currents meet submerged volcanic mountains, a spectacle unfolds that defies human imagination. The Hawaiian Islands, located between 19 and 23 degrees north latitude and 154 to 160 degrees west longitude, harbor one of the most extraordinary theaters of marine life on the planet. Here, 3,800 kilometers from the nearest continental coast, isolated by the vastness of the ocean for millions of years, these volcanic islands have created a sanctuary where ancient schools of fish dance in mesmerizing choreographies. Waters that vary between 23 and 27 degrees Celsius throughout the year transform into nurseries of biodiversity, where each collective movement tells a story of survival, evolution, and unparalleled beauty. The Hawaiian archipelago, with its 8 main islands and more than 130 islets and atolls, forms the most isolated island chain in the world, a natural laboratory where marine life has evolved in unique and fascinating directions. The underwater magic of Hawaii unfolds in explosions of color and synchronized movements that seem to defy the laws of physics. When the first rays of sunlight penetrate the ocean's surface, illuminating coral reefs that have grown for millennia on solidified volcanic lava, we witness a phenomenon that few places on the planet can offer. Schools of thousands of individuals moving as a single conscious entity, creating three-dimensional geometric patterns that change every second. These formations are not only beautiful, they are survival strategies refined over millions of years of evolution, where each fish responds instantly to the movements of its neighbors, creating a collective intelligence that confuses predators and maximizes the chances of feeding. Prepare to dive into the most isolated tropical waters on Earth and discover the secrets of the schools of fish that transform the Hawaiian Ocean into a living masterpiece of nature. The yellow surgeonfish, scientifically known as Zebrasoma flavescens, creates one of the most impressive visual spectacles in the shallow Hawaiian waters. When hundreds of these yellow tang gather on coral reefs between 5 and 15 meters deep, the ocean seems to ignite in golden hues that rival the Pacific sun itself. Each individual, measuring between 15 and 20 centimeters in length, boasts an electric yellow so intense that it seems to glow with its own light, a result of carotenoid pigments obtained through its specialized algae diet. These schools form mainly during feeding time, in the early morning and late afternoon, when currents bring fresh nutrients to the reefs around Molokini, Lanai, and Maui. Watching a school of yellow surgeonfish feeding is like witnessing a frenetic choreography, where each fish meticulously scrapes the algae-covered rocks with its small, specialized mouth, creating a collective sound similar to hundreds of tiny sandpaper blades working simultaneously on the reef's surface. The ecological importance of these schools of fish transcends their aesthetic beauty, playing a fundamental role in the health of reef ecosystems. Yellow surgeonfish act as underwater gardeners, controlling the excessive growth of algae that, if left unchecked, would suffocate corals and destroy the delicate balance of the reef. Each individual can consume up to 40 grams of algae daily, and a school of 200 fish processes 8 kilograms of plant matter every 24 hours. During the breeding season, between February and September, these schools intensify their social behaviors, with males exhibiting increased territoriality and females releasing thousands of eggs into the water column during spectacular collective ascents at dusk. The endemic nature of this species in Hawaiian waters makes each encounter even more precious, reminding us of the fragility and uniqueness of this isolated ecosystem. If you are fascinated by these underwater wonders and want to continue discovering the secrets of the oceans, subscribe to the Marine Sanctuary channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any underwater adventures. Schools of Yellowtail Snapper patrol Hawaiian waters like perfectly coordinated military squadrons, creating a dramatic contrast with the deep blue ocean. These robust fish, which can reach up to 60 centimeters in length and weigh 3 kilograms, congregate in formations ranging from a few dozen to several hundred individuals, depending on prey availability and ocean conditions. Their silvery bodies reflect sunlight filtered through the water in shimmering flashes, while their bright yellow tail fins give the species its common name, creating a visual spectacle of contrasts that instantly captures the attention of any observer. These schools prefer transitional areas between shallow reefs and deeper waters, generally between 15 and 40 meters, where ocean currents bring a constant supply of small fish and crustaceans near the Kona coast and the Hanama Bay formations. During dawn and dusk, periods of peak predatory activity, yellowtail snappers demonstrate impressive coordination when surrounding schools of prey, pressing them against the surface or against coral formations in collaborative hunting tactics that dramatically increase their success rates. The social structure of these schools reveals fascinating behavioral complexity, with hierarchies established through subtle interactions and chemical communication. Larger individuals generally lead the group's movements, with other members responding to visual cues and changes in water pressure caused by the leader's movements, creating response waves that travel throughout the school in fractions of a second. During breeding periods between April and August, the schools temporarily fragment into smaller groups, with males displaying intensified coloration and elaborate courtship behaviors. The temperature of Hawaiian waters, remaining between 24 and 26 degrees Celsius during these months, creates ideal conditions for the development of eggs and larvae. Yellowtail snappers play a crucial role as intermediate predators in the reef food chain, controlling populations of smaller species and serving as prey for larger predators such as sharks and barracudas, maintaining the trophic balance of these complex ecosystems. Observing these schools of fish in action is to witness millions of years of evolution refining survival strategies in the most isolated waters of the Pacific. When large schools of striped tropical fish appear in the crystal-clear Hawaiian waters, the ocean transforms into a vibrant, living art gallery. These ornamental fish, with their bodies decorated by alternating vertical stripes of black and silvery white, create mesmerizing visual patterns as hundreds of individuals swim in perfect synchrony. Each fish measures between 12 and 18 centimeters in length, but the collective visual impact far surpasses the individual dimensions, especially when the schools perform their characteristic dances over coral formations between 10 and 30 meters deep in the protected bays of Oahu and the underwater caves of Niihau. The stripes are not merely decorative. They serve multiple evolutionary purposes. They confuse predators through disruptive patterns that make it difficult to focus on specific individuals. They aid in recognition between members of the same species. And they can even communicate emotional states through subtle changes in pigmentation intensity. During the hours of greatest sunlight, between 10 and 2 o'clock, these schools of fish concentrate in specific areas of the reefs where the light penetrates with greater intensity, creating plays of shadow and light on their stripes that further intensify the visual spectacle. The social dynamics of these schools demonstrate remarkable behavioral sophistication, with individuals maintaining precise distances from each other through a sophisticated sensory perception system. Each striped fish possesses a highly developed lateral line that detects minute variations in water pressure, allowing for instantaneous adjustments of position and direction that maintain group cohesion even during rapid maneuvers to avoid predators. These schools feed mainly on zooplankton and small invertebrates that they capture from the water column, carrying out coordinated incursions where the entire group moves like a living curtain through nutrient-rich areas. Reproduction occurs during the full moon of the warmer months, from June to September, when ocean temperatures reach their annual peaks of 27 degrees Celsius. In these magical moments, schools of fish ascend in synchronized spirals at dusk, simultaneously releasing millions of gametes into the water column in reproductive explosions that ensure at least some of the fertilized eggs will survive the ocean currents and the countless predators that await this annual feast. Are you enjoying this immersion in Hawaiian waters? Then leave your like now and subscribe to the Marine Sanctuary to dive with us in the most incredible oceans in the world. Dense schools of blue-striped snapper represent one of the most sophisticated spectacles in Hawaiian waters, combining visual elegance with highly efficient predatory behavior. These impressive fish, which can reach up to 50 centimeters in length, boast fusiform bodies decorated with horizontal stripes in shades of electric blue and silver, creating patterns that seem to flow like liquid water when hundreds of individuals swim together. The densest schools can contain more than 500 individuals, compacted into complex three-dimensional formations, occupying volumes of water that extend for tens of cubic meters in the vicinity of Kauai and in the depths of Molokai. These aggregations prefer reef areas with varied topography, generally between 20 and 50 meters deep, where underwater canyons and caves provide shelter during hours of lower activity. The density of these schools creates an extraordinary visual effect, where the mass of silvery and blue bodies seems to solidify the ocean itself, transforming water into a palpable and shimmering entity. During the day, snappers remain in compact formations close to reef structures, but at dusk they disperse into smaller hunting groups that systematically patrol their territories in search of small fish and crustaceans. The formation of dense schools in blue-striped snapper serves multiple adaptive functions that explain the evolutionary success of this strategy. Firstly, the extreme density confuses predators through the confusion effect, where the abundance of potential targets makes it virtually impossible for sharks and other hunters to focus on a single individual. Secondly, the dense grouping optimizes collective hydrodynamics, with strategically positioned fish taking advantage of the vortices created by swimmers ahead, reducing individual energy expenditure by up to 25% compared to solitary swimming. Communication within these superschools occurs through multiple simultaneous sensory channels. Visual signals processed by large, sensitive eyes, motion detection through the lateral line, and possibly chemical communication through pheromones released into the water. During the reproductive season, between March and July, these dense schools temporarily fragment, with males establishing spawning territories vigorously defended against rivals. The health of these schools of fish serves as an accurate indicator of the overall condition of Hawaiian reef ecosystems, making them valuable sentinel species for conservationists and marine scientists. Nothing in Hawaiian waters inspires more respect and fascination than a school of Chevron Barracudas patrolling the outer edges of the coral reefs. These magnificent predators, which can reach 5 feet in length and weigh up to 20 kilograms, congregate in formations reminiscent of military air squadrons, with dozens or even hundreds of individuals maintaining precise distances as they systematically patrol their hunting grounds on the vertical walls of Lanai and in the deep channels between the islands. Their hydrodynamic bodies, colored in a brilliant silver with characteristic V-shaped markings that give them their common name, reflect sunlight in dazzling flashes that can be seen from dozens of meters away. Barracudas prefer the deep blue waters beyond the edges of the reefs, generally between 30 and 60 meters deep, where ocean currents bring a constant supply of schools of migratory prey. Observing a school of Chevron Barracudas is to witness predatory perfection in its most refined form. Each individual remains constantly alert, its jaws armed with razor-sharp teeth ready for bursts of speed that can reach 55 kilometers per hour over short distances, transforming these fish into living missiles perfectly suited for capturing fast-moving prey. The shoaling behavior of Chevron Barracudas represents a fascinating ecological paradox, as these formidable predators rarely hunt cooperatively, unlike many other species that form aggregations. Instead, Barracuda shoals function primarily as an anti-predatory strategy, protecting individuals from larger sharks and other top predators that patrol Hawaiian waters. During the day, barracudas maintain impressive circular or cylindrical formations called barracuda vortices, where hundreds of individuals swim in coordinated circles, creating a living tunnel that can be 10 meters in diameter. Divers who have the rare opportunity to enter the center of these vortices describe the experience as being inside a silvery tornado, surrounded by watchful eyes and muscular bodies moving in mesmerizing harmony. At dusk, the shoals gradually disperse, with individuals embarking on solitary hunting expeditions that extend into the night. The healthy presence of Chevron Barracuda schools indicates balanced and productive marine ecosystems, as these apex predators only thrive in waters where the entire food chain remains intact and functional. Schools of Trevally transform the shallow Hawaiian waters into arenas of unparalleled speed and agility, where hunting becomes a spectacle of precision and explosive power. These powerful fish, ranging from 30 to 60 centimeters in length depending on the species, have fusiform bodies covered in silvery scales so brilliant they act like liquid mirrors, reflecting the turquoise blue of the coastal lagoons of Waikiki and the sheltered coves of Maui. Schools of Trevally preferentially patrol surf zones and transition areas between shallow reefs and open water, between 2 and 20 meters deep, where they take advantage of currents and turbulence to ambush unsuspecting prey. When a school of Trevally locates a group of smaller fish, the attack is unleashed with impressive ferocity. The predators compress their prey against the surface or against coral formations, creating explosions of water and foam as they leap partially out of the water in their attacks. The speed of these attacks can reach 45 kilometers per hour in instantaneous accelerations, transforming each jackfish into a silvery projectile perfectly designed to capture agile prey such as sardines and anchovies. The social complexity of jackfish schools manifests itself through established hierarchies maintained through visual displays and ritualized confrontations that rarely result in serious injury. Larger and more experienced individuals generally occupy leadership positions in the school, initiating movements and directing hunting strategies that other members follow with remarkable precision. During the early morning hours, when the low-angle light creates challenging visual conditions for prey, jackfish intensify their hunting activities, taking advantage of the tactical advantage provided by the oblique illumination. Reproduction occurs during the summer months, between June and August, when ocean temperatures peak and currents carry an abundance of plankton that will feed the newly hatched larvae. During this period, schools aggregate in even larger numbers, with hundreds of individuals gathering in specific areas of the reefs where current and substrate conditions favor egg survival. Watching jacks in action in the crystal clear waters of Hawaii is to witness evolution perfecting predators over millions of years, creating hunting machines that combine speed, agility, and collective intelligence in proportions rarely found in the animal kingdom. Hawaiian Longfin Anthias, scientifically named Pseudanthias hawaiiensis, represent one of the archipelago's most precious endemic gems, creating clouds of pink and orange that float above the reefs like animated petals. These small and delicate fish, measuring only between 6 and 10 centimeters in length, compensate for their diminutive size with impressive numbers and spectacular coloration on the vertical walls of Nihoa and the coral formations of Midway Atoll. Dominant males boast intense reddish-orange hues with long filamentous extensions on their dorsal and caudal fins that undulate gracefully in the current, while females exhibit a softer but equally beautiful pinkish-orange coloration. These schools prefer the outer edges of reefs between 25 and 50 meters deep, where consistent currents bring a constant supply of zooplankton from the open ocean. Observing a school of thousands of Anthias hawaiiensis hovering over coral formations is to witness one of the most ethereal images the oceans can offer. A living constellation of colorful dots that pulsates and flows with the currents, creating mesmerizing three-dimensional fractal patterns of complexity. During periods of intense feeding, the schools move vertically in the water column, pursuing concentrations of copepods and other microcrustaceans with quick and precise movements. The reproductive biology of these endemic Anthias reveals one of the genus's most fascinating characteristics: sequential protogynous hermaphroditism, where all individuals are born female and the largest transform into males when necessary. Each dominant male maintains a harem of 5 to 15 females, vigorously defending his territory against rival males through elaborate displays that include fin expansion, intensified color changes, and ritualized chases. When a dominant male dies or is removed from the group, the largest female in the harem initiates complete sexual transformation, which is completed in 2 to 3 weeks, assuming not only male morphology and coloration, but also characteristic territorial behaviors. This sexual plasticity allows populations to maintain ideal reproductive ratios, even when predation events or other environmental factors drastically alter the school's demographics. The unique endemic nature of Hawaiian Longfin Anthias, found only in the waters of the archipelago, makes each encounter with these schools a special privilege, reminding us of the collective responsibility to protect these unique and irreplaceable ecosystems that have evolved in isolation for millions of years in the middle of the vast Pacific. The rainbow parrotfish, scientifically known as Chlorurus perspicillatus, transforms Hawaiian reefs into living galleries of impossible colors and characteristic sounds. These robust fish, which can reach up to 60 centimeters in length and weigh 4 kilograms, boast a color palette that fully justifies their common name. Electric blues, emerald greens, vibrant pinks, and bright yellows are distributed across their bodies in unique patterns that vary between individuals and change dramatically between juveniles, females, and terminal males. When dozens of rainbow parrotfish congregate on coral formations in the waters of Kailua Kona and the shallow bays of the Big Island, their fused beaks incessantly scrape the surface of the corals in search of algae and polyps, producing a crisp rhythmic sound that becomes the characteristic soundtrack of healthy reefs. These fish feed primarily between 3 and 15 meters deep, where concentrations of live coral offer an abundance of food resources. Each parrotfish can consume up to 5 kilograms of calcareous coral per year, crushing the material with its powerful dental plates and digesting the organic components while excreting pulverized calcium carbonate, a process that produces tons of fine sand that form Hawaii's iconic white beaches. The ecological importance of rainbow parrotfish extends far beyond their contribution to beach formation, playing a crucial role in maintaining the health of coral reefs. By constantly scraping coral surfaces, these fish remove algae that would compete with young corals for space, facilitating the recruitment of new colonies and promoting the recovery of damaged reefs. At night, a fascinating behavior characterizes this species. Each individual secretes a transparent mucus cocoon that completely envelops its body, creating a protective barrier that masks its chemical odor and dramatically reduces the risk of nocturnal predation by moray eels and other predators. The formation of this cocoon takes approximately 30 minutes at dusk, and its dissolution consumes another 20 minutes at dawn. Rainbow parrotfish exhibit protogynous hermaphroditism similar to Anthias, with all females potentially transforming into spectacular terminal males that develop even more intense coloration and pronounced frontal protuberances. Watching these colorful artists working tirelessly on the Hawaiian reefs is to understand the profound interconnectedness of all life forms that sustain these extraordinary ecosystems. The waters of the Hawaiian archipelago hold living treasures representing millions of years of evolution in oceanic isolation, creating spectacles of biodiversity and collective behavior unparalleled anywhere else on the planet. Each school of fish we explored today tells a story of adaptation, survival, and beauty that transcends simple descriptions, inviting us to reflect on our connection to the oceans and our responsibility to protect these marine sanctuaries. Hawaii is home to some of the most preserved reef ecosystems in the Pacific, true sanctuaries that serve as refuges for endemic and migratory species, natural laboratories where marine life thrives, protected from excessive human pressure. These marine sanctuaries represent hope for the future of the oceans, demonstrating that when we offer adequate protection, nature responds with extraordinary abundance and resilience. If this journey through Hawaiian waters touched your heart and expanded your awareness of the underwater wonders of our planet, please like, subscribe to the Marine Sanctuary channel, activate the notification bell, and share this content with everyone who loves nature. Together, we will continue exploring the world's most fascinating marine sanctuaries, revealing untold stories about the life that inhabits our precious blue planet.